Okay guys, just finished the big 2-hour workout. Now it's time to go do some core strength to make sure that we can actually do the next workout healthy. I'm gonna go get cleaned up underneath in the living room. Hey everyone, Cycling Doc here, Dr. Alex Ritza, and in today's video we're talking about core strength. We're going to give you a routine that you can do to improve your core strength for on and off the bike that's going to make sure that your core, your spine doesn't hold back your performance and to make sure you don't get injured. This core strength routine is also going to help your knees and making sure they stay fit because it's going to work on all of your core from the diaphragm and the lungs to the diaphragm and the pelvis. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so when we're talking about core strength for cyclists, a big thing that's going to be a little bit different with this routine is it's going to be based on holding positions, similar to how we are on our bike where we hold a similar position for a long period of time, as opposed to sets and reps. And there is some research to back this up. With these exercises, we're going to be focusing on front, side, back, and the glutes. Basically, the big muscles between the diaphragm and the lungs to the base of the pelvis. That is the core or the trunk, and that's what we should be focusing on to keep our spine safe, our hips safe and healthy, to keep our knees healthy, and to build greater strength through the core so we don't develop any problems. So with all of these exercises, one fundamental requirement, you have to be able to brace your core or brace your spine, which means you're able to tighten up the core in the front, the side, and the back like a corset, and you're able to do that, hold it, and continue to talk and breathe. If you are not able to do that, then you should check out this video or one that I will link below that will help you build that fundamental skill. Most cyclists should be able to do that though. So with all of these exercises, we're going to be holding them for 1 minute, or that is our goal, to hold them for 1 minute. These exercises are both therapeutic and diagnostic. Therapeutic meaning they will help you get stronger and build your core strength, and diagnostic in that if you're not able to do them, it tells you that there's a problem, tells you don't have the requisite core strength to be an athlete, and you should work on them. So without further ado, so the first exercise that should be part of the routine is a side bridge. With this exercise, we're focusing on core is tight, holding up through the glutes on the side of the leg, engaging the obliques, and the ear, shoulder, hip, knee, and ankle should be stacked up in one straight line. 60 seconds doing this, flip on to the other side. Now, we've done the right, we've done the left. Now we're going to add a modification. So the first modifier you're going to practice holding for a minute is with a clamshell. You'll notice core position stays the same. I'm nice and tight and braced. Ear, shoulder, hip, ankle are stacked up, or sorry, knees stacked up. And you'll notice the foot stays on the other foot, and you should feel a good burn or contraction in that glute muscle. So when you can hold this for a minute on this side, and also hold it for a minute on this side, what you're going to do is you're going to change the exercise. So you're no longer going to do this, you're going to make it harder by doing a leg lift. So with the leg lift, this is a little bit different than my ear, hip, shoulder, hip are lined up. But what happens a bit different is the leg is lined up and then we bring it a little bit back. When you bring it a little bit back, you'll feel it in that glute muscle on the side of the hip. We want to make sure we're not bringing it forward using that tensor fasciae lata muscle or hip flexor in the front, up and a little bit back. Okay, gals and guys, so those exercises for the obliques, gluteus minimus and medius on the side, with them you can add a resistance band, which will make it harder, and then you can make these exercises very progressive as you just keep adding more and more and more resistance. So next we're going to work on the glutes, really important. We're going to do one primary exercise, and that is a glute bridge. For this, we're going to use and probably need a resistance band around the knees. So with this exercise, really important technique-wise, we're using the glutes, and our cue is to squeeze a coin between the buttocks, not using the low back. So what we're going to do again is a hold. We're going to lie on our spine, and we're going to press out against the resistance band, turning on the gluteus maximus a bit, and then we're going to squeeze the glutes or the butt cheeks up, and we're going to hold this for 1 minute. And again, with this exercise, we can make it progressively harder. You can take hands, put them on your chest. That makes it harder. You can lift one leg, hold for a minute. That makes it harder. You can hold for a minute with the leg up and also bring it towards the chest, and that will also make it harder. If you happen to get a camera out and you film yourself doing this, you should see a little bit of movement in the glutes. Most people overemphasize it and do this. Too much activation in the low back. We just want to focus on the gluteus maximus and keeping that core tight and braced. Again, holding for a minute. With this exercise, if you really want to do repetitions, that is a-okay. Now, what we're going to do next is going to target the glutes a little bit, but a little bit more so for the low back muscles, and that's a standard bird dog. We're up into our tabletop position. We've got hands and wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, core is braced, spine is in a little dipped neutral position, again with the brace. And with this exercise, we're going to extend the arm and the leg like they're on a train track in opposite directions, hold for a second at the end, and come back in. With this exercise, you'll notice I don't really lift the leg high, just enough where I'm turning the glute on, and we're trying to extend the arm and the leg like they're along a train track so that they're not veering off to the side. It's just straight in front. So in terms of targeting the muscles of the core in the front, this is where we're going to use a Deadbug. This will target the rectus abdominis as well as the rest of the core muscles. It's your 6-pack or 8-pack muscle if you're that person, more of a 2-pack kind of guy. So for this one, it's kind of the opposite of the bird dog. We're on our spine, and like a dead bug flailing on the ground, our hands and legs are up in the air, 90-90, straight up. And really important here, we want to engage the core so that the rib cage does not flare up and that this space behind the spine does not open up as well. You do not want to have a big opening here. You want to be pushing your spine against the floor, and to do that, you abdominal brace, push the spine against the floor, and similar to the bird dog, this is where we're going to lower the opposite arm and leg along a track, hold for a second at the other end, and this one we can do 10 repetitions per side. If you notice that when the arm and the leg extend back, that you lose that rib position or that big gap in the spine, you are not doing it correctly, nice and tight through the core, and maintain that spine position. So we can do either 2 sets of 10, 1 set of 15, 1 set of 10. Really depends on what you have time for, and as you get stronger, you can add some resistance bands, but for this exercise, typically I would recommend adding some more repetitions. So last but not least, we're going to make sure that we do our last one with a little bit more difficulty, a standing fire hydrant. You're definitely going to want a resistance band for this, and probably a little bit of a thicker one. With this, we do a little squat, and just like you would if you were a dog, you're going to lift your leg and hold it out to the side for a minute. So you are going to have to shift your body position. It's impossible to basically hold this position without falling over. So it's okay to shift a little bit. You want to make sure that you're bringing the leg out and a little bit back. You want to make sure you bring your leg out and a little bit back, using that core muscle, using that glute muscle. Abdominals are nice and clenched, holding for a minute, and then other side. With this, the lower the resistance band is, the harder it is. So if it's at the knees, that will be harder than if it's at the top of the thighs. And with this position, the thing that people usually make the most mistake is that they'll bring the leg too far forward instead of drawing it to the side and a little bit back. So that's our core strength routine for cyclists. Honestly guys, not rocket science, but the exercise I showed you today, they are evidence-based, they're backed by science, and most importantly, they are safe, and they will keep your spine, your hips, and your knees safe on the bike, as long as you got a good bike fit. I hope that was helpful as always. Comments, questions, concerns, let me know. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel for more good cycling content. And guys, Cycling Doc signing off. You have a wonderful day. Ride healthy, ride strong, have fun. I'll see you later.